Folks, what the crap's going on? Your Salt Dragon is back, and welcome to some legendary Cathay action. Man, we've been hearing about the Forge of the Chaos Dwarves DLC. I'm excited about it. Obviously, we're going to be playing it. So one of my objectives, obviously, is to finish this campaign up so that we'll have a clear slate. And my objective in this campaign is to gain a long victory, which means that I need to go kill off Kholek's faction, and we will have obtained a long victory. But before we can do any of that, we've got a bunch of dwarves here, and it says these dwarves are going to kick the ever-loving crap out of me. So apparently, I need to convince the AI otherwise. I'm curious about what the terrain looks like here. The terrain could play a role. Oh, it's a defense battle. I mean, I have reinforcements coming, but this is actually kind of annoying. I don't like these defense battles. If I auto-resolve, they're going to kill off a number of my units. It makes me wonder exactly how many units. Not worried about the garrison ones. I'd have to re-recruit some of those. Ugh. Trying to think about what this fight would be like. So I would have to hole up. It would be hard for me to get shots at their cannons. Their cannons would undoubtedly get shots at my infantry in tight packed quarters. So, especially when they got all these flame cannons here, unless I could get to them with my tigers, which is feasible, but then we're gonna have reinforcements rolling in all the time. I don't like the auto resolve here. Like, I don't think it's great, but at the same time, like, this is just kind of an annoying battle. I don't like fighting with all this terrain with Cathay because their whole MO is to shoot, and this terrain makes it very difficult to shoot. This goes back to what I talked about with map design. Is that I feel like that CA is botching map design to make for fun sieges. So like Cathay does not want a really tight quarters fortress, and based on their playstyle, that's not how they would build one. They would have built a fortress that allows their artillery and their guns positions to fire from unmolested, while the army holds off the rest. So to me, this is bad map design. It makes me not want to play these maps, and some of you are going to be mad that I auto-resolve it. Maybe I'll pay a price for auto-resolving it, but that is why I'm auto-resolving it, is because the maps to me are not fun to play because of the layout there. I have to play in a style that doesn't fit the armies that I'm going to recruit with Cathay. So anyway, that's why I auto-resolve that, but it does cost me some units. It's going to cost me a few turns of replenishment. I'm not very excited about that, but I'm willing to take those losses just to have to not put up with fighting on that stupid terrain. Fighting them on open ground would be kind of fun because it would be more like what you saw in the last video, where I was able to, take the right position, use the terrain to my advantage, try and use the units that I have to their advantage, whereas, again, that map just kind of shuts down all of that for my forces. I mean, it does turn out to be a good thing in the end. I mean, we shut down a substantial number of dwarves. I'm trying to think. So that was here and here that we lost units. Okay, we shut down a substantial number of dwarf forces, and that's going to significantly inhibit their capabilities in the region, at least for a turn or two before the AI re-recruits all of that. Looks like the Skaven are back in action, so I'm going to actually move the Iron Dragon in an ambush stance back closer to these Skaven stacks. This is really annoying that they're coming down here because I don't want to have to garrison an army down here, but it looks like I'm going to have to, so I'm going to actually move this army back this direction, and I'm going to do that because if I do have to leave an army here, it's going to be this one, not the Iron Dragon. And let's go ahead and retake this settlement from the dwarves here. I'm going to move one army over here to kind of help protect these ones while they replen. And then let's go with two armies down to this point.
Yes.
Alright, so we'll retake Shattered Stone Bay. That'll give me a few trade resources. It may impact our balance here. Let's see what happens, if anything. Alright, we are over at +2 Yang. I'm about to complete a yin building here. Now I need to almost like convert these ones. We're at +2 Yang, I believe, because we finished that research. Yes, because this one added +3 Yang. These were really nice, though, because it's reducing my upkeep cost by quite a lot. Range for crane gunners and armor piercing. Speed for sky junks. Missile for sky junks. Moon reflecting. Upkeep for Yin armies. Campaign movement for Yang armies. So there's even more upkeep production here, and we do need some Yin points. In 4 turns, that could make a pretty big difference. Let's go ahead and rebuild Shattered Stone Bay. We'll just kind of see where we end up over the course of a few turns. I've got some Yin on the way to counterbalance that Yang, and it should keep us relatively close. We had an ambush foiled by Miao Ying. However, I should be able to lightning strike this first army. I may not even need to. Yeah, he's gonna run away, so there's no need to even lightning strike. I don't want this army getting past us, nor do I want these other ones getting past me. He does not have an easy route into my territory, and then this area down here is well defended. I think what we'll do, if I attack those two, they run away.
Miao Ying.
I could go ahead and just attack and kill this larger army to make sure. That'll put those regiments for now on recycle as well. I'll go ahead and do this. I don't love this idea because now those two armies could swing down from the Vale of Titans into my territory and we end up in kind of a goofy chase scene. But I'm not super worried about them.
They have no other way.
Okay. So Miao Ying is in good shape. Take a look at the wall here. Alright, so Chaos did come back down to visit near... The thing is if I attack them, they're likely to run away. Let's just see here.
I demand their death.
Yeah, this is going to be an irritating scenario. They're going to wait until they get all 3 of their armies down here, probably, and they feel like they have an advantage. If I go into an ambush stance, I'm going to take attrition, which will immediately... This is another reason why I hate the stupid attrition rule with the cannons, which will immediately take away 2 of my artillery pieces by just the tiniest bit of attrition. Again, that needs to be corrected. I saw a comment where someone was kind of defending it. I'm not really sure why that's being defended. It's kind of weird. I mean, it doesn't happen in combat even when you take that many losses. So, I mean, when you take the slightest bit of attrition, it should just work quite simply. Like if a third of the unit is taken away by attrition, then you lose 1 of the artillery pieces. If there's 3, if there's 4, then it's 25%, and so on. Right? It needs to just be a very straightforward, understandable equation, rather than the slightest bit of attrition results in the loss of an artillery piece because. It's strange, and I don't like it. I may be the only one, though, which is why it may be in the game. So, let's see. Thunderbolts. Alright, so this army needs to do some more training. It is short of infantry by a fair bit. If we're going to be doing some local recruiting, we can get some Celestial Dragon Guard in a couple of turns, which would honestly be great. We had the 1 tiger, and honestly the tigers are pretty useful against the dwarves because they can go chase down gunners. Otherwise I would be tempted to maybe just pull in more crane gunners, but I do think a tiger is actually kind of appropriate for that army. Let's take a look at this next force. They are not missing any units because that was not present during the fight, and in this army we are again missing some local, or some infantry units. This army is a little bit low of infantry. Again, against the dwarves, probably not the worst thing in the world. It's going to take me 4 turns to get Celestial Dragon Guard regardless. So I might as well just recruit them locally.
Serve and honor
or sorry, one of them's going to be in 3 turns. That's not too bad. So a few turns, we'll have that resolved. By then, no doubt the dwarves will be back in huge numbers, but at least I should hopefully have this area repositioned. I'm going to have to keep an army down here to ward off the Skaven. This area is going to be slow to grow and slow to build because some of the settlements are in the unpleasant type of climate zone, so that is going to take a little while to overcome. Let's see. Got a +3 yen on the way. This means that would hopefully help counterbalance me the opposite direction whenever this is finished, I think. Alright, let's check out any other buildings that we can do, because we have so much money. I was saving these, it looks like, for potential, emergency balancing, so I'm going to leave those for that reason. I don't think there's anything there that is, like, desperate need. And we have a upgrade here. Again, I'm saving this building for need, though we do have a specialty building here, which is going to give all armies a little bit more magic when increasing extra growth and extra control in adjacent provinces. I mean, it's not that important. I don't know. I kind of like just building the special building. I'll build it for now because I have some other slots open to do the balancing as needed. So we don't really need to do anything else this turn. I think we have taken care of business. We do, it says have an unassigned skill point, and we do here. Thank you for the tip, by the way, on getting that message to go away for the characters who cannot use any more of their skill points. That is much appreciated. I kind of am thinking about dropping the last couple skill points here in Mentor, because that will help benefit whenever I have to recruit new dragon-blooded Shugengen lords. Oh, it did give me the message on this guy, even though we had the auto-assign. Ah, dang. Well, we had said that might help that. Apparently it doesn't, but I'll go ahead and put that one there.
It befits my
into
high
Mentor.
station.
Yeah, it's taking me to Magistrate Lord. We get 3 skill points here. I want to do Quartermaster and then Logistician, because this will help reduce the upkeep cost of my armies, allowing me to have more armies. So that's one of my goals at the moment, is to have a considerable number of forces, because it may be necessary in order to push back the forces of chaos and still hold against the Dawei Tide. Because remember, our objective here to finish this campaign. In fact, I think I might go ahead and start raising another army. Let's go ahead and recruit a Lord and a Dragon-Blooded Shugengen Lord. Martial Artist. We've got a 10 unyielding. That would put us more into the Yang, though. I do like that one character was level 10, but I can get a level 6, which is pretty close. And this will help better over a temporary course with the balance. Alright, let's place this Lord in here and begin recruiting the troops. We don't have a balloon building here, so it's preventing me from recruiting at a more rapid clip locally. But it doesn't matter, because we have the money and the global recruitment slots to do whatever we need. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of stack this army up with some stout units.
Loyalty, efficiency, and harmony.
Let's see.
A
Couple sentinels. I'll recruit the crane gunners locally, because that'll only take a couple of turns. Let's get a couple of elephants in that army too, because that'll add some nice power.
Service is every Cathayan's
Let's grab a cannon, a rocket battery. Then we just need a little bit of mobility in this army, which I can't really get locally. Probably Longma Riders would be preferable here, and since we're already waiting for 4 turns and money isn't really an object,
I expect
we'll just do that. We
loyalty,
do need a hero in this
efficiency,
army.
and harmony.
I was thinking we... thought we had a hero that's not embedded.
Natural authority.
Could be wrong, though. Yeah, we don't. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can recruit a hero locally. We may not be able to. Recruit hero, Astromancer. I'd really rather have an Alchemist going up against Chaos, so let's see whether we can get an Alchemist up here. House of Secrets. Alchemist Tower is what we need. Where is my nearest Alchemist Tower? Right here, so we can recruit that hero here. And that would put us into balance, at least at the moment. We're going to go back out of balance over the next few turns, but we should be able to correct it. Doom, increase mobility. Plague of Rust. Okay. I'm going to swing this character over to this army. Okay, so we'll have another army on the way. I'll immediately have them join Miao Ying. And then we've got our armies over here kind of holding Chaos's attention. And that means that I really just need maybe one of these armies, maybe 2. Yeah, probably 2 of these armies to head north and support Miao Ying as well.
The dragon-blooded.
So I kind of am thinking this army, but I'm not going to send it until we've kind of... Well, actually we could go ahead and send this army. I think we could.
Never flag, never falter.
Let's go ahead and send this army north, and then we'd at least have 3 up there. This army's okay.
My ancestors require
That one's better
it.
against dwarves.
Natural authority.
Let's take this army, because this army would be okay against Chaos. It's not an ideal army, but we could start moving it north too. So now we'll kind of move our force build up to the north against Chaos, and we'll hold our positions down here. I got this extra army, and I've got the Iron Dragon here as well, so we'll have enough armies to hold what we took from the vampires, and we should be good. Control... And let's go ahead and end this turn. Okay, so this should put us into the final phase. All right, look at that, the dwarves already showing up with reinforcements. I knew it wouldn't take them long. The dwarves have a pretty strong economy as it is, and then put into the hands of an AI on the legendary difficulty, I would think that their economy is near never-ending. And their troops, generally speaking, have a lot of armor, they have a lot of ranged firepower, which then plays well into the auto-resolve. Like, so the dwarves do get kind of beaten down by the... they killed or they wounded our hero there, that's frustrating. They had a dwarf character that wounded.
Natural authority.
Got a level 49 character here. What level is this? 34. It's pretty high. I'm just gonna ignore that dwarf character for now. I probably won't find too much success over the long run. Alright, now let's go ahead and move forward in an ambush stance. Back up to here to keep an eye on Chaos. Chaos could have gone down here, but I don't think so. They probably retreated back to the north. There we go. So our reinforcements are headed north. And then our other army is a few turns from completion. Increase mobility. Excellent. So things are underway. Chaos has given up on its attempt to retake the Red Fortress once again. Takes Red Fortress forever to become viable. We're about to have another Kurgan invasion, which really means I probably need to get these armies moving back towards the wall. If we can defend the Red Fortress in the process, I'm here for it. Let's take this army out first.
It suits my purposes. I am the pride of all.
Could use our little ambush stance trick here, but moving away from the fortress, it is possible that Chaos might feel the need to come fight us, especially if they have other armies hidden around, which they might. I don't know for certain whether they would. Let's check our buildings. Celestial Lake is the one where we're kind of holding off, depending on what happens with the balance here. I have research going that's going to result in +3 yen. I recruited the army, so that would put me at +2 yen here. So let's just wait for it to happen, and then we'll react and kind of see how we are there, because again, we're not taking any major hits with the way things are at the moment. The Skaven didn't trip my ambush, but it's almost like they knew it was going to happen. I'm going to continue these little ambush overtures, and I'm going to start moving the Iron Dragon back this way. So yeah, it doesn't show that they saw my ambush, but they're falling back nonetheless. Shattered Stone Isle we can build up. Okay. Good. Anything else that we want to build? Don't think so. These armies are just busy recruiting. Skill points, we definitely want Arcane Conduit and Magic Reserves. Excellent news. Our characters are going to be leveling up so much faster because of the actually, let's undo that. I'm going to start with Unyielding and Sure Aim because we're going to be in combat, and then I'll move to the other ones. Because of the Mentor ability. Again, really like that Mentor ability. It's a really nice feature to have in late game. Really want to replace these crossbows with good ones. I might want to see if we could get it done before the Kurgan invasion. We cannot recruit crossbows there. I can get them at the Turtle Gates. I mean, those guys aren't making it through a gate battle.
We must be tireless. My privilege.
There must be order.
Just do this. I'll just shift these two armies, and that'll keep them at bay. And then I can get some crossbows into that army, some better ones. I need these armies to be powerful, just in case. We certainly can't afford to give up an inch at the Bastion. Let's end another turn here. Alright, so Miao Ying is about to go on the offensive against Kholek. We do not need to capture any of Kholek's territory. Basically, we just need to burn down everything in our path as we move north against Chaos. And again, that should help us get towards the victory conditions that we're looking for here. Alright, we've got an Undercity during that, or at least we discovered an Undercity during that turn-in. Let's go destroy it. Undercity destroyed. Okay. Looks like Chaos is like clogging itself up in the corner of the map right there. That's a very odd choice indeed. But hey, whatever floats your boat. Happy to kill you in the corner if that works for you. I am here for it. I'm going to kick these. Actually, let's kick them 2 at a time, because I'm probably only going to be able to recruit 2 at a time. Or no, we can recruit 4. Boom, boot them. Alright, and we'll get a nice replacement there in 2 turns. Plus we have the safety of the garrison to help guard us. And we got a skill point here. Let's finish the Comet of Kazandora. Got a Lord not moved, so Miao Ying has not moved. Her ambush was not foiled, though. Dawe are moving a little bit against the ogres. I suggest you maybe kill them, because they're in your land, like rather than marching over there. You know, just a thought. Just a thought. Wow, the dwarves are already back basically full strength.
The Lord Magistrate
Yikes.
stands ready.
Dang, yeah, that is not ideal. And that army is recruiting, so I can't really move that army. The dwarves are about to get me in an attack that I do not wish to participate in. I force march this when I can get up here. It's going to leave me tired, though, and if they lightning strike me, we could be in a bad position. But I don't want to leave these forces isolated. So my objective here is to make sure that this army is within reinforcement range of both of these. Yeah, so none of those armies should be able to get singled out. What they could do, though, is take one of these armies, I believe, in siege, and then attack the two without. And that could be somewhat problematic, depending on what the dwarves bring.
Wherever Cathay needs me.
Alright.
Perhaps an elixir of time.
Armies are building up the way we need them to. I think we'll be able to ward off the dwarves there. I've also got the Iron Dragon that can try and rush to position here as well. Skaven appear to have given up interest, at least for the moment, in this area. Dreadrock is going to be better protected. So I'm going to actually take this army down closer to Dragon Fang Mount. Okay. So we've repositioned here. No need to do anything with Miao Ying. We have building upgrades. I definitely want that building upgrade. Let's go see if there's any others. Celestial Lake, I believe, is the one yet we've been holding out on. Worst of the Moon is also kind of a holdout at the moment. Yeah, okay. I think we're good here. We could dispatch a caravan. It's gonna be bloody impossible to get it past the dwarves. There's no point. I would love to have the caravan get going, but there's just no point. Alright. And another one here. Let's see what we get.
You caught death
This is
by
good.
the
I
little
feel like we're getting ourselves into a better position. This faction has declared war on you, the Knights of Calador. Is there a particular reason why you're declaring war on me? How did they make friends with the dwarves? That shouldn't even be... I guess the player can't make friends with them, but apparently the AI can? So you're telling me there's an angry, grudging, a Dawitide, but they're okay with the pointy ears. They just hate me more than anyone else. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense when you don't think about it. So apparently Calador wishes to attack us. This is utterly incomprehensibly stupid, but I mean, I guess Greasus will be happy. He's been begging for it for a long time. So I'm going to have to keep quite a few armies down there in order to stay safe at this point, because we've got a full-on Dawitide and now an annoying Elf Tide as well. We got hit by a lightning strike here of the dwarves. It says we're going to lose. I tend to disagree. Basically, if we can get rid of their artillery, then we win this. Pretty well, hands down. Let's take a look at the terrain. And they attacked me as well, which means that I can get into a fully defensible position against this artillery. So let's go ahead and fight this. Well, we have to fight it, of course, so let's fight. Alright, I was able to obtain an extremely defensible position way up in the hill. So I'm completely covered from the Dawi artillery. I don't know, I left my lord visible, hoping that they'll move towards him. I don't know how the AI is going to pathfind this map. I did hide some tigers down here in the woods, hoping to get in behind the dwarves and get at their artillery. And essentially the objective here, to just kind of explain what I'm doing, I hate this camera restriction for Legendary, it's stupid. Another arbitrary thing there. Basically, this mountain will prevent the dwarves from hitting anything I have except for my artillery and my lord. My lord is here to hopefully bait the dwarves straight up this path where I can then pound them to death with the artillery, and I'll move the crane guns out when the time is right. But essentially, that's our objective here. So we're gonna game the Dawei as hard as we can. We do have a healing potion here for our lord, and we have a buff we can use here every 90 seconds. Which, does it give us range? It does not, man. I wish that would have given us range, because that would have been really cool. Alright, so the dwarves are pathfinding in the direction I wish them to. Again, I'll be able to bring those tigers in behind them. I'm just going to have to leave it and fast forward here and just kind of wait slowly for the AI to come into cooperation here. This should be very effective on my cannons, though. Very effective. It's a lot of accuracy and reload skill. Oh, speaking of cannons, dwarves already have some moving in. We'll have to watch its max range. It already shows it in range, my lord. My cannon is in range now as well. Let's move back just a hair.
At once.
Let's wait just a second. I'm going to move that back. So our bait worked. We got the Dawei cannons inside of our cannon range. And I'm now going to throw down this ability and really turn up the heat on the dwarves. That ability only affects one unit? Like, man, I need to find a mod for the Magistrate, because the Magistrate's already a bad unit, and then the fact that this only affects one unit? Like, I mean, the Magistrate might be cool if that was a passive. Alright, the AI is just singularly focused on my lord, and that is totally fine, because it's going to allow me to destroy their artillery. As soon as their artillery is destroyed, they're toast. These guys have nothing without that artillery, because my elephants will just raffle stomp their entire army at point-blank range. I don't have any magic, which kind of sucks, but like I said, these guys are utterly outclassed. Let's go ahead and put our crane gunners like down here. Dawei have a lot of ground to cover. I'm gonna wait just a little longer on the tigers. What is this unit here? Until where their organ gun is at. Okay, we've smashed their artillery. We can now open fire on the Iron Drakes. Okay, the Iron Drakes are targeted. If that is their organ gun, which I think it is, then that's good. Alright, my crane gunners, because that organ gun is the only unit that's a threat to my crane gunners at the moment. I could go ahead and pull the elephants down here. My cannons are going to get a lot of kills because of the blobbed nature. I'm going to run my tigers to the next forest. Alright, so Operation Stunty Destruction is well and truly underway. Let's take our lord, come back up here a little closer. Let's continue to inspire these cannons. Let's target right down the center of their army. Crane guns don't have the best line of sight there. I'm actually going to move them ever so slightly. Cannons are firing away. They have lost control of their organ gun over here, so my tigers are going to eat them up. Crane gunners are now in range. Let's grab a couple infantry units, get ready to rush them forward here too. So we've got the Dawei moving into a bottleneck. I'm targeting out their range capability. We need to focus their Thunderers next. Thunders are target priority 1 here.
Crane gunners.
Okay, so the Thunders are going down. Some of them have a line of sight blockage here. Oh man, we are annihilating Thunders right now. That is amazing. I'm gonna run my infantry back over here. Let's kind of move up and over here to get out of the line of fire. Let's bring our infantry down. Awesome.
The celestial faithful.
Now run those guys off. Okay, now we're gonna double back into action. The elephants. We're gonna take a little bit of damage there from these Iron Drakes. But at this point, it is game, set, and match for Cathay. Got a lot of armor. It should protect us to a degree. I need someone to finish that off. Our Tigers honestly just kind of need to capture the attention of the AI here. Awesome. Alright, we're in good shape. Doesn't really matter that we're blobbed up here at the moment. I'm going to move on over here. Go ahead and heal our Lord. Our elephants are now just raffle stomping the Dawi. Let's kill these guys before they get my crane guns. Iron Drakes can do a lot of damage. You don't want to underestimate them or leave them to fire. Same thing with Thunders. They are very capable units. After attacking that organ gun, it still has enough crew left to pick up a gun and turn and fire. You're kidding me. It's kind of a bad joke. Okay. Fortunately for me, we didn't have to worry about that scenario. Let's shoot this fleeing Dawi Lord here and try and dissuade him from coming back to attack us anytime soon. I might actually wish to leave a few survivors here. The reason I say that is because he's a level 36 though, so he's invincible. Meaning we can kill him and he's just gonna come back. Like he's got the invincible. So that's unfortunate. It means that he's going to get away, but he's not gonna be combat viable for quite a while. We beat him badly. See how that map gave me options? I could deploy on open ground. I could deploy in a different position in the back with some cover. That was an open map, right? And it had options for me to play my army in different ways. The Cathay settlements, when you fight within one of your settlements, I say this for Cathay, it's true for any, should be true for any faction, I should say. They should be supremely good for your army's strengths. So there should be firing positions that are accessible to me without the AI having immediate access to them without flyers, right? So the AI might have to be marching up corridors where I have men above in firing positions. That's like something that seems... there was an army that got around us to the Red Fortress. Oh, chaos. Little buggers. We'll have to go back and take care of that. I'm not surprised. Like, there's room for them to move around out there. And either that or they had one hidden somewhere as well, which is totally possible. So the dwarves moved up, kind of like all out over here. But I also finished some recruiting. At least most of our recruiting is finished. They sieged our settlements, so that's a strange move. We finished recruiting in this army, but we don't have a hero that's missing.
Do you take me for a Wazik?
I do take you for a Wazik. I'm gonna see if this army has lightning strike.
Spill their bile.
Dwarves are gonna get a lot of benefit of the doubt from the auto-resolve because of their ranged units. So I think with this army, we have them outranged significantly. Let's see what the battlefield looks like. My reinforcements, though, may be coming in from a poor direction if we fought with reinforcements, which again would make this not very smart. I don't need to fight with reinforcements. I think that I'm just going to lightning strike the dwarves here because I hold them at range, and my crane gunners can annihilate their thunderers, which again leaves them in a position where they can't possibly win. So let's go ahead and fight this one out as well, since we haven't had a ton of action so far. Alright, the battle is on. And I've got rockets firing away. The dwarves are kind of taking an odd position, though, that I didn't quite expect. They're moving up in a strange manner, and I think I might have to rethink my life decisions real quick, as they are closing on my position rapidly with a lot of thunderers. I need to start running these units forward. I've got to shut down the organ guns. Alright, if I can shut down the organ. They may be making that move because of my cavalry on their flank. I'm not 100% sure. I think there's enough terrain to protect me from those thunderers right here. So I'm going to stay under cover. I got to continue bombarding their artillery with my own. They've got one organ gun making its way towards my far flank. Is going to put it in a somewhat difficult position to shoot, but it also puts it in a limited firing position. I have to wait for the dwarves to crest this hill, and now I can come charging forward. I've got to deal with those troll hammer torpedoes right there as well. Oh man, we're getting shot in the flank, but our crane gunners have opened up, and this... Let's kill those. Move these units up. Let's go attack that artillery piece. Alright, their leader got into my own artillery. I'm gonna drop my artillery and retreat to safety. My swords have engaged and kind of steadied the main line. And I'm gonna finish off all ranged threats. Actually, yeah, just go ahead and fire there. Let's get into that artillery piece. Awesome. Okay, so we have neutralized the ranged threat. We've saved our artillery. Our swords are really the only units kinda at risk at the moment, and that is not going to be the case for long.
The Emperor's will.
Let's start firing into the flank position there, and let's move these units to reinforce. Awesome. I'm in fact going to just summon a unit to hold there, and I'm going to move out with my dragon-blooded Shugengen Lord. These swords are not ideal units anyway. They do need to be replaced at some point. The Dawi are sturdy little fellows, and they are using their trollhammer torpedoes to good effect right there. But those will no longer be an effective option. Okay, wiped them out. Let's move over here. That magic isn't going to make any difference. A Flock of Doom would be good, though. Alright, I've got reinforcing armor-piercing infantry nearby. The Dwarf Lord is now going to be fixed, and the Trollhammer torpedoes have been silenced. They do have one organ gun. Oh, I forgot my cavalry. Way back in the back.
Repositioning. The Emperor's will.
They still have just a couple units here.
Celestial fury.
Turn some of our attention. Alright, we routed the Dwarf Lord. Okay, so that was a good victory for us. Maybe could have been a hair cleaner, but was a solid victory nonetheless. So I mean, if you neutralize the dwarf artillery, they're not left with much, because crane gunners absolutely neutralize anything else that they bring to the battlefield. So crane gunners are an absolute bane of the dwarves, as are these single entities. Now their troll hammers are pretty effective. You saw that one of them got onto my unit there for a minute and picked up quite a bit of damage. It was that one there. So it doesn't take them long to get the damage done. But again, Crane Gunners neutralize most of those targets nicely. That allows me to Lightning Strike that Dwarf Force and take them out of play. And then it's going to cause... That one is actually stuck in a Force March, which means
Shogun Lord report.
I should be able to tag team him now. If I attack here, yeah, we get reinforcements, so do they, but that's going to catch this Dwarf army, and we should be able to neutralize them with relative ease here. Again, we've got them outranged. They do have the Grudge Thrower and the Cannon here, which is good at range, but I have them just modestly outranged. Let's take a look at the terrain here. This is good terrain. I don't have any magic in the first army, but the second army does bring in a Shogun Lord, where I can taunt the dwarves with some magic, and I'll get additional ranged units here as well. So we can definitely take down Thorgrim here if we play our cards right, though they do have like a lot of range. We'll have to play carefully in the way that we deploy, but I'm going to leave the game saved here, and I will see you all next time in the Miao Ying campaign.